Today we're going to make a Halloween cake. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa and I'm with Delicious Table. And this Halloween cake you can really use whatever batter and cake mix you'd like. I used a white vanilla cake mix and I just mixed in some orange gel coloring. You want to make sure your bowl is maybe glass or doesn't accept the dye so you don't ruin your bowl. But just get it to the color that you like. Keep adding the drops until it's the orange color you like. And then you can see I've got chocolate cake mix already ready to go. What I'm doing with this recipe is making a marbleized cake. And it's really easy and really fun to do. You certainly don't have to do that. You can just bake chocolate cake. You could bake vanilla cake, whatever you choose. But I thought this looked really cute. You could also do like purple or green for Halloween and make it, kind of a surprise on the inside of the cake. And, just have some fun with it. So, and then you'll also see I've got a 9x13 pan that I'm now putting the batter in. I've got it lined with parchment paper and I sprayed it with nonstick spray on that paper. And then you're going to go ahead and use like a 1 cup measuring cup and just put dollops of the cake batter inside your pan. And you want to alternate like kind of blobs or little dollops all over your pan with your colors. So I've got the orange batter in first, which is a vanilla cake, and then I've got the chocolate batter going in. And you'll just alternate and kind of layer it is the idea here. There is no way to mess this up. There's no real right or wrong. Kids can help you do this. This is it looks kind of tedious, but it goes really fast. And I think it's really worth it when you cut into the cake and have the marbleized cake inside as like a surprise. So this is a chocolate cake on the exterior. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes here, but anyway, this is up to you. But I think the chocolate cake for a Halloween cake looks kind of spooky and dark, and it looks like a graveyard, which is what we're going for here. So again, just keep layering your batter in, scoop by scoop, until you've used it up. Now I have a little extra cake batter here because I actually, after I finished this cake, I made some cupcakes. But 2 boxes of cake mix will work great in a 9x13 cake pan. I think the rectangle shape is really nice for a graveyard, but you could do a round cake, no problem, or a square cake. Whatever pan you have is going to work just fine. And again, do line it with some parchment on the bottom. Again, I sprayed that parchment with a little nonstick spray just so it would easily peel off the cake and off the bottom and come off the bottom of the pan. So that's just a little tip for you there. So we're just layering our batter and getting it all in there. And you can see that it kind of drips and makes a mess, but it all turns out. I saw this technique a while back and I thought it was so cool looking. I did a cake for 4th of July this way too. Here you go. Now what you're going to do is use a skewer and you're just going to kind of zigzag back and forth. Again, there is no right or wrong, just, you're swirling at this point, the batter. And you're going to just use like a stick. And then you're going to bake the cake according to the box cake mix that you bought. So, that's all in the package and everything for you. And now what I did is I got one of these little molds. They're so fun. This is a Wilton mold, I think. And you can make little chocolate tombstones and bones. I think that this makes the cake, in my opinion. You could probably buy something like this, maybe at a specialized candy shop. But I just used the white candy melts for the little bones, where I just melted the chocolate in the microwave and then just spread it in the mold with a offset spatula. And that was really easy and fast. And you could do the same thing. You could use candy melts for the tombstones too. But this cake has a lot of chocolate work. And of course, it's all optional, but I went all out on this cake to show you guys all the different kind of fun things you can do. And again, you just want to fill the little mold and scrape the chocolate away. And then it hardens in the refrigerator within like 20 minutes. Your bones are ready to decorate your cake with. So that's the chocolate bones, which I think is just makes it really Halloween-y. Is that a word, Halloweeny? Okay, so that part is now done. And next what we're going to do is we're going to make our melted chocolate. Now I used just semi-sweet chocolate chips that I had here at the house, just a regular chocolate chip that you'd use for cookies. And when you add a little vegetable oil, that helps it get a little glossier and it helps it melt. I've got it on a double boiler here. I've got a heat-proof bowl over a pan of water. And you want to take your time with this. You don't want to have your heat up really high so the water splashes in the chocolate, because that'll make your chocolate seize. That's a little tip. And then just again, use your offset spatula and get it in the mold. And just, it goes really fast. This is so worth it. I think this mold was just a few dollars, maybe like $7 or $8. And I had so much fun with it. So, and again, you're just gonna take a little time to, spread it on the mold, but you just want to level it out as best you can across the melted chocolate. And then we're going to be using more melted chocolate for the decorations on the cake. And that's really fun. It's all up to you. On my site, on my website, Delicious Table, I have a downloadable template for you that you can use for the chocolate work that's coming up. And that's a little trick to load your pastry bag, is to put your pastry bag in a tall jar, like a mason jar, whatever you have. And it just keeps the mess off your table too. So you put your tip down in the bottom and then load your chocolate in to a pastry bag. Next, we're going to start making our decorations while the bones and the tombstones are chilling in the fridge. Now, if it's hot when you're doing this, you're going to want to, a hot day, you're going to want to chill your, decorations just until you're ready to serve your cake, because they get a little melty sometimes. All right, now here's what we have. We have a fence, we have a tree, spooky tree, and a gate. Again, you could draw your own decorations, just have a blast with this. It's all about your own creativity. But I do have a downloadable template at deliciostable.com. Just Google Delicious Table, Halloween cake, you'll get to the recipe and you can print out the template. Now I've slipped that template under a piece of parchment on a sheet pan, and you want to make sure you have a spot in your fridge for the sheet pan to go. And then what you're going to do is just get your chocolate in there, in your pastry bag. I am by no means a professional pastry chef, so I'm sure you guys can do it better than I can, but all you do is just draw on the lines, just cover the lines. And you do want to make the lines a little thicker, kind of go back and forth on the template or whatever design you do. You don't want thin lines because it'll break when it's chilled. It's just too fragile. So make it a little thicker. And I think it looks kind of spookier that it's not perfect, if that makes sense. Just have fun with it. Like, don't stress out about it. Just let your creativity guide you. And I think I freehanded this in just a few minutes with a Sharpie marker, and then I used it as a general guide, but you can do whatever you want. You can make little bushes, you can make little broken pieces of fence, you can do all kinds of different things to make the graveyard look really old and rickety and spooky. So again, just go back and forth. And then you can see, as your pastry bag gets a little low, you're going to want to, of course, refill it as you go. One trick I've learned is don't overfill your pastry bag or it all comes out the top. When you're doing chocolate work or frosting work, it's just too much to hold the whole thing. So just kind of fill your chocolate maybe halfway in your bag as you go. And there you can see I'm, making the line thicker so it's more structurally sound. Once it chills in the fridge, it's, it easily comes off the parchment paper. But again, if it's too thin, it might crack. And it kind of looks cool cracked. You'll see what I do with some smaller pieces on the cake when we get to that part. But this goes really fast. Doesn't take very long to have some really cute chocolate work for your cake. And if you're having this for a party, again, I would I would assemble everything on your cake and keep it chilled until right before serving, and then bring your cake out for your party, so that it, it's chocolate. It gets a little melty, so you're gonna just want to have it ready for your party. I've even had people decorate during my party. I had a July 4th party one year, and I had friends helping me decorate a flag cake, and they loved it. They actually had so much fun. I ran out of time to get it done, and they're like, "Oh, we want to do it." So you can even have people help you decorate, I suppose, at your party. But anyway, the idea is, you bring it out, and it's kind of a show cake, kind of a fancy, fun cake. Okay, so now we're going to do the tree. Again, the tree is, I just, sketched this out, but you can make your own. You don't need a tree, but I thought I was inspired by a lot of things I saw on Pinterest and the internet, and I thought the tree was really cool. And when you put all these pieces on your cake, I'm going to show you a little trick I learned to keep them kind of standing up and stuck to the cake. So we're going to go through that too. Okay, and again, if you can follow a template, but you certainly don't have to. You can kind of go in various directions and just have fun with this. It was a lot more fun to make this cake than I thought it would be, and I was a little intimidated by the chocolate work, to be honest with you. I thought, God, I hope this, I test all this stuff and make sure it works, right? And I was like, I hope this works, and it really does. The only challenge, again, is chocolate melts. I mean, it melts even in, higher room temperatures. But once it firms up in the fridge and you take the pieces off the parchment, they hold together pretty well. And so it's all good. I have a recipe also for chocolate frosting that's on my site that goes with this recipe. If you want to make your own frosting, it's so easy and it's so good. And I have a couple little tricks that I do with it, but it's a chocolate buttercream frosting recipe. And I also have a regular white cake frosting recipe that's delicious. But the chocolate buttercream that goes with this it's so easy to make your own frosting, and so much less expensive than the frostings in the store get really pricey. And so you can whip a batch of frosting up in no time at all. So there's our tree. It's looking really pretty spooky and kind of old, old and tired. So there's the gate. There's the tree. And then, of course, the fence that goes around the exterior of the cake, you're going to be making 5 of those. Now, obviously, you're just going to follow the same template and make 5 pieces of fence to go around the side of the cake, around the rectangle sides. So okay, so you can see that it takes a little bit of time to do these little pickets. You can fill them in a little bit if you want. Just go back and forth. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think it looks even better if you don't try to make it perfect, if that makes sense. It's too stressful because you won't be able to make the perfect line. So just let it be a little bit uneven, wonky, whatever the word you want to use. But you're going to make 5 of these fence pieces, and then those will be fitting around the side of the cake. Just go back and forth, kind of cross back over so the chocolate gets a little thicker. And then you can do the little points if you want. As I think I got to the 3rd and 4th fence, I kept going faster and faster, and they all looked a little different, but I mean, by the time you put the whole cake together, it looks terrific, even if they're all a little bit different. And you can do like smaller fences for like inside the graveyard, like around a grave if you want, or you can do different little things like that. For this recipe, you'll also want some Oreos, and when you crush the Oreos, that's going to become dirt for the inside the graveyard on the graves, which is kind of a fun touch. Simple, easy, and looks really cute. And there's a fence. So again, I did like 2 lines of chocolate, going across the fence itself to kind of structurally make it a little stronger. But there's your fence. So very, very easy, very simple. Okay, so now this is the chocolate buttercream frosting recipe that also comes with this cake recipe, Halloween cake. And you'll just want to frost your cake that you baked. And again, this is a marbleized cake because it's got the chocolate and orange. You can kind of see it peeking out there to get a little glimpse of it. But you'll just want to smooth the frosting as well as you can. It does not need to be like super smooth or anything. We're not trying to be, professional bakery. Just get it on there and cover the edges pretty well because you're going to be putting the chocolate pieces on the side, and you want a little frosting on there so it kind of glues on. So once you have it all frosted, you can see I've got the Oreos crushed in a little bowl. Here's our tombstones and our little bones, and you just pop it out. Pop it out on a plate. Comes right out. You don't need to do anything to this mold. It's so easy to use. And look at that. You've got adorable, they all have little cute sayings on them too, like sugar overdose is that one. And then just go ahead and push them right into your cake. And if there's a little bit of extra chocolate on the side, you can kind of break that off. But you want to try to get the, on the back of that mold, get it as smooth as you can. Yeah, there's a little piece to break off there. That one says, "It was so sweet." The sayings are really cute on it. And that one says R.I.P. So there you go. Get your tombstones on there. And then next, just get your little bones. You can probably buy some of this stuff. I mean, Halloween is so popular now, but I just, this mold really inspired the whole cake. It really, I just thought, oh, how fun will that be? Okay, so now we got that on, and next you're gonna take your crushed Oreos, which are gonna be your dirt. Again, you can do this whatever way you like. You can kind of pile it up or sprinkle it on, whatever you like. I've also seen people do grass, like you could use little green frosting. You can buy little tubes of that at the grocery store, and you can put like little tufts of grass. I've seen people do that. I mean, just have fun, whatever you want to do. It's your cake, and I think that's part of the fun of making this one. So, okay, so now that we've got that done, okay, now it's time to start putting the pieces on the side. So this side piece, I was trying to put it on, and it was like not holding. I'm like, okay, this is not working. So what I did is I just squeezed in some buttercream on the side fence piece there, and just it held to the side of the cake. Okay, and then I put the tree in, and again I squeezed a little more frosting around the base of the tree so that it held it up on the back, like kind of on the back, and then a little bit more on the front, and that just kind of braces it, holds it up. And then use a little Oreo dirt, I guess we could call it, to kind of cover it up a little bit. I mean, I've seen people use, like gummy worms and spiders and all kinds of different things in their cake too. So again, if you didn't want to do the, all this chocolate work, there's just so many different things you could do. Okay, so now it's time to put the rest of the pieces on the side and the back and the gate. So here's the gate. I think it turned out pretty good. And again, I'm just on the lower part of the gate, just squeezing on a little chocolate buttercream so it sticks onto the front of the cake. See that? I've got it on there. And it's holding. Now the gate's on. That's how it looks now. And now you're going to go ahead and finish the other pieces. So we've got basically 4 more pieces. And you can take the pieces of fence and break them so they fit on the front of the cake. You've got the 2 shorter pieces on the front and just snap one long piece in half. I mean, you'll kind of have to piece it together. Again, putting a little more buttercream to anchor it. Okay. I have a star tip on there because it kind of did that, you know, nice blob, so it was like it acted like glue. And there's one back fence piece, and here's another one that I'm going to now break it. And again, it doesn't have to be like all matched and everything. Just let it be what it is. Okay, so now we've got side pieces all done. Would also maybe be cute to use those peeps, you know, those marshmallow. They have a ghost, I think, peeps now, or little witches or something. You just do so many different things. And now we're going to finish the front part of the fence, or the fence. And then get a little more buttercream on there. Stick it on. This cake, by the way, serves about 24 people. I mean, obviously it depends on how big of pieces you cut, but it's great for, you know, a sheet cake like this is great for a party. And I have a flag cake for July 4th that I made in the same pan, and that's a really fun recipe. I did a red, white, and blue interior with American flag design. You can look for that on my site as well. It's really fun. So you can see there I'm just piecing that corner piece on there in the front. And that's it. I mean, the cake is essentially done now. That's it. I mean, if you want to, I think I'm adding a little more fence on there. I was deciding whether or not to, but again, you could add, you know, any extra pieces in there how you want. And there's the cake. That's a graveyard cake. So now let's cut a piece open and give it a taste. So remember, this has a surprise inside, a special Halloween cake color interior there, marbleized cake. And again, you can do different colors, whatever you want. You could do black, I suppose. You could do orange, different colors. So I just did the chocolate and the orange. I thought that was nice together. And that's it. It's just a fun, it really is a fun cake and an easy cake. It just has some extra steps, but I think if you really just plan well, you'll be able to do it. So happy Halloween, everybody.